Guys, here are my UFC 112 predictions. 112 Invincible, the names are coming back, kind of exciting. The fights are April 10th in Abu Dhabi. So just remember, since it's ahead, they're ahead of us, the fight's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday the 10th. So just stay off the internet until, you know, you want to watch the fights. Unless you want to watch the fights at 1 p.m., which is perfectly fine, which is what I want to try and do. But if you want to wait until nighttime, just stay off the internet so you don't get any surprises. As always, go to MMAGirls.net and enter in the prediction contest. The first person with the most correct predictions gets a poster of me. Fantastic, I know. So first prediction is Anderson Silva versus Demian Maia. And a year or so ago, Anderson fought against Talis Ladas, and Talis is a solid black belt in jiu-jitsu. And the problem with that fight, though, is that Talis kept dropping to the ground and trying to, pull Anderson into his guard, which is not going to happen. Anderson wanted nothing to do with it. So Silva really never got tested against a good black belt. So this fight's interesting because now Maia is a super aggressive fighter. I think he has underrated takedowns, and if he doesn't get the takedown, he has no problem pulling guard. Against Chair Sonnen, I mean, he had him against the cage, tossed him, and got a submission. So Demian, I think, is gonna, really push Anderson, try and stay out of his range, try and avoid some damage, hopefully not do what he did against Nate Marquardt, just come in. I think he's gonna be a little more cautious than that, but still push the action. And hopefully we get to see Anderson and him on the ground. I think that'd be really, really exciting because, and like I said, Anderson's never really been tested on the ground. That being said, I'm going to go with Silva by TKO, but I definitely think that Maia has a shot at submitting him, and I think it would be really, really interesting to see them on the ground. So I'm excited for it, but I'm going with Anderson by TKO. Next prediction, dun dun dun, BJ Penn versus Frankie Edgar, and it seems like no one can outbox BJ in the lightweight division. No one can beat BJ in the lightweight division. He's just phenomenal everywhere. Even Freddie Roach said that he thinks that BJ is the best boxing in MMA, so there you go. And no one can take him down either. Like, GSP can, but that's a whole different story altogether. So really, to beat BJ, you need a fighter who can keep the fight standing and outbox him. But not who can outbox him. We'll see. Frankie Edgar has really good boxing fundamentals. He's good at wrestling, and he has really good fundamentals with boxing. Very tight, straight punches. He gets in and out, good lateral movement, and he's a smart fighter. So I guess the question is, are his hands good enough to beat BJ? I don't know. I honestly, I wish he had maybe another year, a couple months. I mean, this is just from me from watching his old fights, because I think he's such good boxing, but is it good enough to beat BJ? That's the question. And I guess the question on BJ's side is Frankie's pace gonna be too much for BJ for 5 rounds? Because, the question of cardio always factors into, making a decision about BJ. But BJ's been training really smart and really hard, and it's BJ Penn, and I've gone against him the last time. Just because I don't pick him doesn't mean I don't like him. I'm a BJ Penn fan, guys. I am. But everyone's a BJ Penn fan, so I have to kind of play like devil's advocate and sometimes go with someone else. And would I love Frankie to win? I would, because I love upsets and I love underdogs winning. But that being said, I'm going to go with BJ by decision. I think that it's hopefully going to go 5 rounds and we'll get a good boxing match out of this. But I'm going to go with BJ by decision. Next prediction is Matt Hughes versus Gracie. And Renzo's finally in the UFC, which is fantastic. But now Matt Hughes is not a big fan of the Gracies. And Renzo, is very proud to be a Gracie, very tough fighter. It's going to be an interesting fight. Hughes has, really good wrestling, very good top game. He doesn't have a belt system, but, many say that he is a black belt, on the black belt level. I don't know, I think this fight could go the same way it did when he fought against Matt Serra, where he took him down, controlled him on the ground, and stayed out of his submissions and ended up winning a decision. And that's how I think this fight's going to go. It's going to be tough, because I think Renzo could catch Hughes, but Hughes, he just has really, really good ground game. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to go with Matt Hughes by decision. Next prediction is Terry Edom versus Rafael dos Anjos. And welcome to the main card, Terry. He's usually on, the undercard. You see his fights a lot of times, they're like submission wins, quick finishes. So at the end of a pay-per-view, they always show the fights from the undercard that were really quick or really good. And usually you see his fights. So welcome to the main card. He's a very well-rounded fighter, good submissions, good striker. And now Rafael's, had some tough fights. He's had a loss to Tyson Griffin, but tough guy, gonna be hard to finish. Especially since his specialty is ground game. I don't think Terry's gonna submit him, but I think he might get the TKO. And so I'm gonna go with Terry by TKO because I think he's gonna want to put on a show since he's on the main card and he deservingly, should be on the main card. It's just a matter of building up his name. So I'm gonna go with Terry by TKO. Last prediction is Kendall Grove versus Mark Munoz, and this is an interesting fight. I kind of don't know what to do with it just because Kendall fought against Jake Rochold and I picked Jake. I'm pretty sure I picked Jake. I don't know if it was a main card fight, but I know that I was going for Jake, and he controlled him, took him down, tossed him around, took him down, and it was really, it looked really good in that fight, and then he fell into a triangle and Kendall caught him and submitted him. Kendall's got those long legs, those dangerous long legs that are perfect for jiu-jitsu, and you just have to be so careful with it. And now Mark is a Division I wrestler, an All-American. He helps the Nogueiras with wrestling, and they help him with submissions. So it's kind of like a similar situation going on from Kendall's fight with Jake to his fight now with Mark. And I'm looking at all the fights so far, and I'm pretty sure I've picked the favorite in every single one. So I have to go with an underdog. And no disrespect to Kendall, but if I have to go with an underdog, I'm going to go with Mark because I just think he's got the takedowns, top control, and I think he can stay out of submissions. And then he might even catch Kendall as well. But Kendall's so tall as well. But I know I'm going back and forth, but I'm going to go with Mark by decision, like I said, because I think that he's got, the takedowns, the top control, and he can stay out of submissions.